What's up? We appreciate y'all tuning back in, man. Markie's here. System's here. Everything's good. Yoli's back. Everybody's back. Everybody's checking back in. Mark's back up in here. Everybody's coming in. We appreciate you. We appreciate you tuning in, man. We appreciate it. 100%. Most definitely. Yeah. We appreciate y'all coming back. My brother.
What up? What's poppin', baby?
Hey, what's going on, man? What's
What's,
going on, man? Appreciate you coming in, bro.
Thank you, man. Excuse my parents. I need a haircut. I'm just at home in my drawers, so you know what I
Hey,
mean?
it's COVID, man. It's COVID. We doing it like that. It's all right. Listen, the legendary member of the Fat Boys, Prince Markie D, in the building, brother. I appreciate you doing this interview with me. I
Anytime,
appreciate
man.
it.
Anytime. You know that. I apologize for not being on time too, man. I get a lot of requests to do interviews and stuff like that, and I
Yeah,
couldn't remember the name of your IG. I knew who it was, but I couldn't remember the name of the IG. And your man's called, and he got me right, and I was able to get in. So I'm glad
hey,
we're here.
that's my little brother. That's my staff. That's my whole
Okay.
staff.
All right.
That's what's up. Hey, let's get right into it right away, man. And I just want to ask you this, like my questions are in no particular order. All right.
Okay.
No particular order. But what I want to know right out the gate, okay, your group, the Fat Boys, initially called the Disco Three. How did y'all meet, bruh?
We grew up together on the same block. Well, not like from basically from kids. Me and Cool Rock, we moved on to Skank between New Lots and Hegeman in East New York, Brooklyn. I moved on there when I was about 10, and he was 12, and we met each other on the block. And maybe like 2 or 3 years later, Buff moved across the street from us. So
Okay.
we all hung out and played football every day, and just hung out in the corners and did our thing. We were friends, neighborhood friends, growing up from the
That's
block.
what's up. That's what's up. Now, when somebody says that you're a legend in the hip hop game, man, how do you process that when someone calls you a legend?
It blows my mind. I mean, because I'm a fan more. I think I'm more of a fan of hip hop than I am really an artist. You know what I mean? Like I get blown away when I'm, speaking to different artists, and I'm just sitting there, and it's weird. It's weird as hell to me because I, bump these guys in my car. I buy their music. I support their music and everything. So it's weird to me, but it humbles me also at the same time. Because we were just kids starting out, doing something new, some new music. And it was amazing to me back then. But
Hmm.
then when we started to like make records and sell all these records and do movies and commercials and touring and all the crazy shit that we did, that's when it really started like, wow, like this is bananas. I can recall one time we were performing in Atlanta at the Omni Center. I don't know if the Omni Center is still there, but
The
it's like a
yeah,
30,000 seat arena.
right.
And we sold it out and had like 4,000 people outside that couldn't get in. And it was us, Run, Houdini, a bunch of other groups. And I remember Run and I had walked to the side, like the side of the stage, and we're looking at everybody, and we're looking at each other like, yo, they can't be here for us. Like, are they here for us? Is this real? Like, it was just mind blowing. So, needless to say, the answer to your question would be it very humbling, very humbling experience when people, call me legend and things like that. So,
Brother, let me tell you, I'm a Fat Boys fan, man. I'm trying to tell you.
thank you.
Me and my little brother, my dad took us to this hip hop fest or whatever you guys perform. Bro, it's like it's all good. It's all good. But I was just saying, my father took my brother and I to this little hip hop fest type joint, man. And wait a minute, you still there? You still there?
Somebody keeps calling me. Sorry.
It's all good. It's all good. It's all hey, no problem, no problem. But no, what I was just saying is, as far as you would run DMC, like I'm a fan of hip hop, and I always felt like the delivery that you guys had was similar to Run DMC. Am I wrong with that, or would I be on point with that? I think I think
Okay,
we
I'm
have.
back. I'm back. I'm back.
Oh, it's okay. It's okay. I didn't know, if you had Teddy Riley staff over there or not. I didn't know what was going on with you. I'm just tripping. I'm just tripping. But no, you can hear me now, correct? Okay,
Yes.
clear. So what I wanted to ask you, as far as the delivery that you guys had, to me it sounded similar to Run DMC. Were they an influence on your style?
No, not it, that the we probably sounded similar just because of like everybody was kind of rapping like that around that
Okay.
time. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, I Run DMC is the big influence to us. Yeah, like we
Yeah.
love.
Okay.
I mean, it's like these are the guys that I'm hanging out with every day. But I listen to their music. You know, every time I'm in my car, every time I listen to music. Like Run DMC is the biggest, the greatest group of all time to me. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Oh,
So
definitely, definitely.
you know that's the vibe when it comes to running them. But we didn't like if we sounded similar just because it just happened to happen. Like we didn't go in the studio intending to do anything like that. You know, we did ourselves. You know, we just did what we did. You know, so
Definitely. Now, I know that the way everything started, it was like a contest that you guys won. And you guys won the contest. And from what I understand, that was the beginning of everything. Now, is there anything like, I'm just wondering, like, who else was in that contest? Because what I'm just looking at is like, there's other people who could have possibly skyrocketed. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if it was just you guys or if there's somebody else that could have been in your place. I don't know if you understand where I'm coming from.
yeah, definitely. Well, there was a lot of people that that were in the concert. Nobody, the only other group that was in the concert that became successful was a group called UTFO.
Okay.
UTFO, they actually, the name of the contest that we won was called the Tin Pan Apple Dance and Rap Contest, right?
Hmm.
So there was a rap section of it and there was a dance section of it. And
Okay.
first prize for the rap section was a record deal. And first prize for the dance section was like a year of free lessons at this prestigious dance school in New York and some money, you know?
Damn. Okay.
And we only entered the rap end, but UTFO, they entered the rap end and the dance part of it. So
Okay.
we ended up winning first place in the rap side of it, and UTFO ended up winning second place in the rap and first place in the dance. And the only difference, was which was the reason why we won was because of Buff. You know what I mean? Buff,
Hmm.
like he was beatboxing. If you never experienced Buff beatboxing in front of you or on
Hmm.
stage, it's really hard. Like it doesn't translate well on song. On songs, it doesn't. When you're standing in front of him and he's beatboxing, you feel the bass in your chest, like when
Yeah.
he's hitting his kick drums. And when he's on stage performing, it's a sight to see. It's amazing. Like he was just totally mind blowing. So for all the people that were at Radio City that day and at the Fever for the semifinal 2 days prior, it was just everybody was like mouth wide open, jaw
Yeah.
dropped, like two kids rapping, and the funny thing about it is that during the contest, everybody had to rap to the same beat, and
Oh,
the beat,
really?
yeah, it wasn't even a hip hop beat. It was like this really weird because the guy that put it together was from Switzerland. So it was
Yeah.
this really weird European, like kind of up tempo drum pattern. And it was like really weird. And everybody hated the beat that we had to rap to. But
Hmm.
thankfully, when Buff started beatboxing, they turned it off when we were performing. And
Oh,
it was just
word.
Buff beatboxing and we were just rapping. So that kind of gave us the advantage and gave us the win with that. So, but yeah, UTFO was the other group that was there, and we've been friends ever since.
That's what's up. That's what's up. Something
Yeah.
I'm not clear on is the origin of the beatbox, because at one point I thought it was Dougie Fresh or Biz Markie that was the original human beatbox, but I specifically heard Dougie Fresh say, "I'm known for the not for the." So my thing was, he could not be the originator if he is giving your boy love. You know what I'm
Well,
saying?
he wasn't
So
giving my boy love. When he did that, that was actually like a diss. Like that was
okay,
basically
okay,
back then. That was considered like being disrespectful. Like I'm known for this, not for that shit. Like you know what I'm saying?
okay,
Because
okay,
we had a
okay.
little pressure back in the days, because everybody was on that like that back in the days. You know what I mean? But when we were on the block, the first person I ever heard beatbox was Buff.
Word.
But the first person I ever heard beatbox on a song was Dougie, you know?
Okay.
And we did a lot of shows together back in the days. We had a lot of tension. There was, there was some, just because of that, how arrogant everybody was back then. He was saying he was the original one, but we got to protect our dog. Like, nah, hell no, Buff is the original. You know what I mean? So we had a lot of tension back then. I remember a few times that we almost, got down to it, and we from Brooklyn, so we didn't care, how we get down. So we just didn't care about it. But the crazy thing about it is, Buff passed in '96, and years later, we ended up being invited on the Tom Joyner Morning, the Tom Joyner Morning Show would do a cruise he does a cruise every year. Okay. And we ended up being invited on that cruise, and we performed. And Dougie was on the show also. Word. So Dougie comes to us and he goes, "Mark, listen, I've been practicing Stick'em for like a month now. It would be my honor if y'all let me do that song with y'all."
Oh, damn.
So he ended up performing the song with us on the Tom Joyner cruise, and it was magical, man. It was dope, man. He did it like exactly the way Buff rocked it, and it was just so dope, man. And Doug, I love Dougie, not just for that, he's just a great person, and of course he's one of the greatest entertainers ever. Like when he hits that stage, he rocks. But him doing that was major for me, you know what I mean? So big up to Dougie.
Man, that's hey man, I love the fact that we get little gems out of that. That's what I love about this, man. Is the fact of we get these little gems. Now I wanted to ask you this, and like I told you, nothing is in a particular order. Like I know that you write music too, right? And I was blown away to know that the Mary J. Blige "Real Love" joint, like that's you. Like you wrote the whole joint.
Yeah, well, me and my partner Corey Rooney. Corey Rooney he was a music executive. Well, we came up together. I met him. The funny thing about it is that his mother was in a group in the '60s, and they had a big record out called Tell 'Em. The name of the group was the Exciters. Okay. And when I became successful, my mother was handling a lot of my business for me. You know what I mean? And she wanted to start a label, so I gave her some money to start the label. She started the label, and the artist that she was going to sign was Brenda Reed, my boy Corey's mother, the girl from the group. So she would come to my house often, and he would come with her. So I would say, "Hey, what's up, man? What's good?" I mean, I see him all the time. And one day, we just started talking, and he played a tape for me. He's like, I sing, and I was like, "Oh, really? Let me hear something." So he played me something, and it blew me away. I was like, "Oh, this shit is dope." And I had just bought like a bunch of keyboards and some beatboxes and shit, and I was about to start fucking around with music in my den. And I decided, I was like, "Yo, we should get together. I got a bunch of gear. Let's just work on some music together." Yeah. So we started working on music together, and Corey and I became really successful. The first things that we really did. Look, Kango from UTFO is texting me right now because last night, he's celebrating a birthday in a couple of days, and he wanted me to send him a video. I think he's gonna do something on Instagram, with a bunch of people, like a virtual party. So I sent him a video last night. So he just texted me, so that's crazy. We just talking about him, but so we started writing music and stuff in my den, and one day we're like, "Yo, let's go to the mall." So we go to the mall, we go to Foot Locker. Go buy some sneakers, and as we're walking at a Foot Locker, we run into this artist named Father MC, and Father MC was signed to Uptown Records. Yeah. So he runs up on me. He's like, "Yo, Mark, I need you to jump on a track with me. Like, let's get it." And I'm like, "I got one better than that. I got a track for you. Come to my crib right now." We went to my house that day, like right then, and we recorded "Treat 'Em Like They Want to Be Treated." And that was his first single, And Corey sung all the hooks and everything. And Corey sings, like, he's my favorite singer, Corey. Him and Stevie Wonder, my favorite singers. So Corey sung all the hooks and, all the choruses and everything. And we took it up to Uptown. And because of my relationship with Andre Harrell, R.I.P., Andre Harrell used to be in a rap group called Jekyll and Hyde. And Jekyll and Hyde was on tour with us during the Fresh Fest. So I knew him from back then. So because of that relationship, when I knocked on the door at Uptown, he opened the door and opened his arms and, extended his, his company to us and told us to come on in. You know what I mean? Sit down, let's work, let's get some money. And we ended up putting Jodeci on that record. and that was like,
Word.
yeah, that was like their big, you know, like coming out record. And from there, we went on to working with Mary, and the Mary J. Blige record was successful. I did Real Love. We produced Sweet Thing. Of course, that's a Shaka Khan song,
Mm-hmm.
but Corey and I produced Sweet Thing, and we did 2 other songs in there, a song called Slow Down and a
Mm-hmm.
song called Changes I've Been Going Through.
Mm-hmm.
So those were my introductions to Uptown Records and actually being successful at writing and producing other artists.
That's what's up. Now, what I want to know specifically with the Real Love joint, is there anything that you can say about that song that that you put in it? You know what I mean? Because I write music, I do poetry.
Yeah.
I used to rap back in the day. You know, my name was Sean Ski back in junior high school.
Everybody was a
But I was
ski.
just. But what I'm just trying to figure out, like the idea of that song, was it just your boy had those beats, or was there something personal about that song
Nah,
that
well,
you put in it?
we met Mary. Funny thing is, Mary, if you look at one of Mary's album covers, she has like this little scar on her face, and she's showing it. Like it's like a
Okay.
profile picture of her. The day she got that scar was the day that I met her. And she came to my house, you know, she took a car, came to my crib, and we was working with her, and I would have conversations with her. And she would always tell me about, you know, her being involved in relationships, and she could never find the right person that, you know, that would make her happy. You know what I'm saying? So when it was time to write that song, we put the track together, and we were kind of brainstorming on it. And I remember Corey came up with the hook, real love, I'm searching for a real love. He wrote that. So him and Mary took a drive to the store. They went to the store. They went to get something. I can't remember what it was. And by the time they came back, I had finished writing the verses, all the verses. And I was just thinking about what she was telling me about how it was difficult, you know, to find someone, you know, that can be like, you know, honest to her and faithful and treat her good and all that stuff. So I was trying to express that through her. And when I let her hear it, she was just like, yo, like, I wish I wrote this. Like, you wrote this shit like through me. Like, yeah. And I mean, that's how she felt. She felt that way at that time, you know. And we all know Mary's the type of artist that's, you know, really emotionally driven. You know, like her success comes out of pain, you know. So it was a good start to her. It wasn't the first single. The first single was You Remind Me, which I actually remixed, which was the version like everybody heard. But the first single that really popped her off like everywhere was Real Love. And I remember Puff coming to me and being like, yo, Real Love is the next single. We were in California at an awards banquet. I think it was ASCAP Awards or BMI award party. And he was like, yo, Real Love is the next single. I'm like, dope, all right, let's do it. Let's go. And it took off from there. It was crazy.
That's what's up, man. I appreciate that. Let me ask you this, because you've mentioned so many different names. I heard you mention Mary's name. You who are some of the other people that you wrote for? You said Father MC. Who are some? And this isn't like we just letting people know who you wrote, because people don't know. Like who are some of the other people?
I wrote for a lot of different artists. I got a song on the Nutty Professor soundtrack. It's called Come Around, which is a really big record. I got a platinum record for that song.
Damn.
I wrote a song for Christopher Williams, Shabba Ranks, Genuine. I mean, there's so many different artists. Damn. Mariah Carey, J-Lo,
Drake,
Mark Anthony. We had our own artists also, which we were really proud of. A group called Menagerie. We ended up doing a whole album that we were about to drop. The crazy shit is that Mariah Carey heard Real Love, and she loved Real Love so much that she told her husband at the time, who was Tommy Mottola, the most powerful man in the music business, whoever wrote that song, signed them. Like, you know what I mean?
Word.
So he did his research, and one day we were home. Corey and I were at my house, and we were just working, and my phone rung. And I picked it up. I'm like, hello? Like, yeah, this is Ethel from Tommy Mottola's office. Tommy would like to meet with you tomorrow if you have time. I'm like, yeah, give me your number. I'll call you back. Click, like, fuck out of here. I wasn't no Tommy Mottola. Whatever. I go upstairs, and I tell Corey, somebody just called, said there was, and I ain't tell him immediately. I waited like a half hour, then I told him. And he was like, you better go downstairs and call back. So I ran downstairs to call back, and it was Tommy Mottola's office.
Oh, damn.
And the next day we met with him, and he gave us the world, like the world. He gave us everything. He gave us money. He gave us a studio. He gave us a record deal, like a independent record deal for myself, for Corey, and he gave us a production deal also, which allowed us to sign 3 artists a year. So we were set, man. We got really hooked up. The only thing we had to do was we had to be exclusive to Sony. So
Oh,
there
okay.
were, and it came on a artist by artist basis. There were some artists outside of Sony that we could work on, but if it was
Yeah,
direct competition for Mariah, we couldn't work with them and shit like that. We got
that's
approached
what's up.
to do songs for Janet, and we couldn't work with Janet. Yeah, it was
Damn.
just like, nah, it's not happening.
Damn. Check this out. Check this out, man. Every interview, my little brother, right? I call him my little brother. The dude's like 40 some years old, but I call him my little brother. He has a question, and he gave me this one question. He
Okay.
said, yo, ask Marky, what did he do? What did he buy with that first check, that first Mama I Made It check? What did he buy?
Well,
So,
you got to understand, I already had money. Like
okay.
before I was producing songs. Before I was producing songs, I had money. But the first thing I bought with my Fat Boys check, I mean, like
Uh-huh.
Disco 3 money,
Yeah.
um, it was a house. I bought a house. I bought a house in
Word.
Rosedale, Queens. Yeah. And the funny thing is, my mom went in. She's the one who actually pushed me to buy it. I didn't want to leave Brooklyn. I didn't want to leave East New York
No?
because I'm like a street dude. So I'm like, I'm not leaving the hood. Like I love it here. Like this is my hood. I grew up here. I don't want to leave. But then when you have success, there's so many things that come with success, and a lot of them aren't really good. So I would get daily phone calls to my house saying that, we're gonna kill your son if my mother picked up, or if I picked up, we're gonna kill you. We taking all your money. We just killed Buff at McDonald's on Pennsylvania. I remember having to drive over there like real
Damn.
fast, like speeding over there, and I get there, nobody's there. Like,
Damn.
you know what I mean? And then I have to call Buff and be like, yo, you all right? Yeah, I'm good. What's up? What's going on? You know what I mean? Like, so my family was becoming very, like, to me, I'm from Brooklyn. I grew up in the hood, so it didn't
Yeah.
bother me. I'm like, yeah, whatever, nigga. Like, come see me, But for
Roll
her,
up.
it was, that's my baby. You know what I mean? Nah, we need to get out of here. And I'm like, all right, whatever. Go ahead, go find a house. So we ended up buying this house in Rosedale, Queens, really nice house, and we ended up moving in. So that was the
Damn.
first purchase I made. Yeah.
Mark said, pull up. Pull up.
Yeah, of course.
Listen, man, one thing I remember, man, when I was growing up was Swatch watches, right? Now, is it true that you guys were sponsored by Swatch watches, or is that accurate?
Well, this is it. This is the situation. Um, Swatch Watch is a Swiss company,
Right.
right? So when they put together the very first Fresh Fest tour, which
Hmm.
was us, Run DMC, Houdini, uh, New York City Rockers, a couple other groups on there also. Nucleus was on that tour. When they put together that tour, this is the first rap tour. You know what I'm saying? So
Hmm.
you got to understand, a lot of people weren't believing in it. So it was hard to get sponsorship. So our manager, he's from Switzerland. He's the guy that put together the contest. He ended up managing us.
Right.
So he had a friend that owned this company called Swatch, and they had a lot of money. So he went to them and he's like, "Yo, back me, believe in this new music,
Hmm.
Now this is a white guy from Switzerland who's in New York, and he's got a heavy ass Swiss accent, and he believes in hip hop so much that he
Mm.
asked his company to put up millions of dollars to back this tour, and they believed in him and did, and we sold out 78 cities that whole
Damn.
first tour, 30,000 seat arenas, 40,000 seat arenas. Every city we would visit, when we left, you would see our record sales 300,000, platinum, gold, whatever.
Damn.
Like it would just jump, and it was crazy. So Swatch Watch was a brand new company in Europe, but they became famous here because of that tour, because of being surrounded by all of this hip hop. So everybody started loving the watches. I had so many of the diamond, they were called the Limelight. And recently I found out they're not collector's items. And I was
Yeah.
giving them shits away to everybody. I'm so mad. I wish I kept them joints, man.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Hey, I
Yeah.
had the joints, and then it had like the little guard over the top,
Yeah.
the little plastic joint. I used to
Yeah.
rock that, man. I wanted to ask you this too, man. Like, okay, Fat Boys, do
Sean, my
you
nephew.
feel?
Greg, what up, baby? I'm
Oh, what's
sorry. Yeah.
up, nephew? That's what's up. That's what's up. No, I wanted to ask you, man. Do you feel like the Fat Boys are like are looked over when it comes to like being like I want to say, how can I say it?
I know exactly what you're saying. And my answer
Yeah.
to it, I know exactly what you're saying. And my answer to it is this. Um, Not by the fans.
Okay.
The fans that love hip hop, I like my DMs. It would take me literally months to go through all the DMs that I get from people that just DM me to say, yo, you're a legend and I
Okay.
love you. Like, I love your music. Now, the people that do look over us, I believe, is like media. Media, you know, like we've never once have been considered for a VH1 hip hop honor. I never got a phone call, never got an email, nothing. And I don't care, honestly. The only thing that bothers me about it is that I believe my bro Buff needs to be recognized because
Exactly.
he was so, like, if you think about it, like I think back in the 80s and the 90s, there were so many movies where guys were beatboxing in the movies and they were
Hmm.
imitating Buff. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? Lethal Weapon, like one of the biggest movies in the 80s. They're at a dinner table. Mel Gibson, Danny Glover, and the kids and the wife, and they're all beatboxing and rapping. And it's crazy, like the influence. You know what I mean? So when it comes to media, I think that media overlooks us a lot. You know, people don't really throw us in the mix when they mention the greats and everything. But from the fans' perspective, we get a lot of love from that side. And I think that makes up for it a lot, you know, because I'm kind of the guy like that. You know, it really don't matter if anybody doesn't ever mention me, you know, with Run DMC and with L and everybody, but because my DMs are crazy with that love. You know what I mean? Like
I feel
everybody's
that.
always sending positive love towards me. So I appreciate that. You know, like I'll jump on when I see another artist, you know, they're practically bowing. You know, I was just in the comments on Fat Joe's, he was talking to T-Pain on Fat Joe's live the other day. And he saw me in the comments and started, yo, the legend, like going crazy. Like all these guys, you know, they show that love, you know. So yeah, we don't get that love from the media, but from the fans and other rappers and things like that. Yeah, we taken care of properly.
A perfect example of that is with LL and Pep were talking to each other,
Yeah.
and then Pep is looking and like you're not saying that I think you just put some eyeballs up,
Yeah.
and then she's like Prince Markie G, Prince Markie G. I was like, oh my God, you got legends on legends. You know what I'm saying? Giving you
Yeah.
love. I'm like, yo, this is crazy, man. This is
Yeah.
crazy. Now, this is something that and you I'm not even sure if you know that I know this, but I know, or maybe you could finish this. There's a story about you and Heavy D meeting in front of a what is it
A soda machine.
a soda, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And I just wanted, because my thing is when I heard about this, I'm like, okay, I just let you tell it. I just let you tell it. I'll let you tell
Yeah.
it, man.
I was out on Salt and Pepper were on tour, and we weren't on the tour. I was just out hanging with Pepper, and I woke up one night at like 3 in the morning and I was thirsty. So I just walked out to the soda machine. And when I got there, Heavy D was standing there. And he looks and he goes, and he walks up to me and goes, listen, before you say anything, I just want you to know something. Like, he must have heard that people were, that he must have heard that somebody was coming to me and saying something negative, that he was saying something negative about me. He must have
Mm-hmm.
heard that. So he came to me and he said, listen, I need you to know something. I would never say anything negative about you. Like, I love you. Like, the Fat Boys were my inspiration. Like, you are my inspiration. And then he tells me, look, he goes, Marky D, Heavy D. Like, like we're similar in, like, I'm light skinned, you're light skinned. Like, you see the goatee, I do all this because you did this. Like, and then at the end of the
Damn.
conversation, he got me in this big ass bear hug, and my face is in his chest, and I'm like, get off, nigga, like, you know, back
Yeah.
from back. But he was like the coolest dude ever. And ever since that day, we were like the best of friends. We would switch cars all the time. I go to his crib, he come to my crib. Like, Head was my man, man. He was one of the coolest dudes ever, man. And the crazy part about it is he had, right before he passed away, he had released a reggae album. You know, he's Jamaican. And he
Mm-hmm.
had released a reggae album. And I was, you know, trying to support it as much as I could. And at that time, I was on 99 Jams in Miami, which is like the
Mm-hmm.
#1 hip hop and R&B station here. And I was doing afternoons there, and I was talking to him, and I was like, yo, like, whatever, you know, when you have music, send it to me. Like, so he told me about the album, and he sent me the album, and I'm trying to get it into, you know, rotation and shit with my PD.
Right.
And I got it in rotation. And then maybe a year after that, I had heard he passed away. You
Mm-hmm.
know, he was on a plane and he had a blood clot. and the blood clot
Damn.
traveled to his heart, and he passed away. And I was mad because like I got so much love for him, but I hadn't talked to him in a year. You know what I'm saying? So ever since then, I've always stuck to the rule of if you love somebody, communicate with them often. You know, let them know that often. You're like, don't let months go by without saying at least hi, or letting them know you're thinking about them or whatever. You know, people appreciate that. So ever since that, I remember calling LL and being like, yo, like, let's make sure we holler at each other every other week or every month. You know what I'm saying? Let's do that. Just because, you know, and he's like, what's up? And I was like, you know, Heb went, it was a year I ain't talked to him, and I ain't like that. So he's like, so we make sure, you know, me, him, a lot of other people, we make sure we keep in contact, you know, often. So
That's what's up. Hey, look, man, we right at about 30 minutes. I'm definitely not trying to keep you forever, but I just got one last question for you,
okay.
man, and I just want you to answer. Like right now, if today was the last time that you could really speak to anybody, man, or you know, tell them about your life or what you've done, man, what would you say to everybody? Like, how would you want everybody to remember Marky D, man?
Um,
It's a tough.
yeah, damn, that's tough, man. I just want everybody to remember me for my music, you know, what I've written, you know, and that I was a good dude, you know, that you know, if you ask me a question, I kept it 100, you know, and I care about the people around me. I care about, you know, who I love. I care about people in general, you know. And I think that nobody should ever be, well, let me say it like this. Nobody should ever have a misadvantage in life. You know what I'm saying?
What
Life
you mean,
should be
bro?
an even playing ground. You feel me? So
Okay.
when people don't have these opportunities, a lot of people, they hit me up and they're like that are so talented. You know what I mean? I got people send me songs in my DMs all the time, and they've been trying for 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years to get a record deal, but because they don't know anybody, it's not fair to them anymore. You know, they don't know anybody that can hook them up with somebody. They don't have an even playing ground. You know what I'm saying? So I want to be remembered as the guy that gave those opportunities. You know, I always give my email out to anybody that wants to holler at me. I always accept interviews. I accept whatever, anything I can do. If you need me to speak somewhere, if you need me to help raise money for something, if you need me to do I'm always available. I'll make myself available, and I just want to be remembered like that type of guy, you know? So
Definitely, man. Well, listen, bro, I appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedule to rock with us, man. And we'll
thank you.
definitely be in touch. And I got to get your information because I want to send you something, man, and show you how much I appreciate you. All right.
Facts. Appreciate that, man.
All right,
Love.
Marky D. God bless you, brother.
Bless y'all. All
Peace.
right.